Hey, my name is Sarah, and I might be recording a YouTube video, or I'm recording something that whenever is the light of day, and I will delete. Also, if my roommate gets back while I'm recording this, I am going to immediately stop it and run back into my bed. But we'll see how far I can go. I wanted to just tell a few little stories, mostly so I can exercise them from my brain and put them into a form that I don't have to think about them all the time because they haunt me. And the theme, because we love a theme here, is called Starting College, which I have had the just absolute joy of having to do twice because I transferred because I did not know what I wanted to do, and I still don't, but I'm happier here than I was there. Sorry, friends there. Love you guys. These are all little snippets from my first weeks at each place, which both house their own terrors and turmoils, that kind of thing. But the first college that I went to, that I don't go to anymore, transferring, the first story is from the major meeting where you met with people from your class who are in the same major as you. And I was a history major, and there were about 8 or 9 of us in this meeting, and they had us all introduce ourselves. And I also don't think that I had officially signed up to be a history major at this point. I think I was an English major still, and I just kind of stuck into this meeting because I know that I wanted to be that. But my last name is Tideman, and I introduced myself as Sarah Tideman. Tide like the detergent, man like the gender. And I had never said that before in my life. And in this meeting of 8 or 9 people and a few advisors, like professors, no one laughed and no one really commented on the fact that I had just said something so dumb. My friend Abby was in that meeting, and she told me later that she thought it was funny, but she didn't laugh, so I don't know what to believe. Anyway, the next story, a bit sadder. So get your tissues out. It's not very sad, but whenever I would eat in college, I would usually get it from one of the to-go places because I had no friends and I had a weird class schedule that made it like hard to find good times to eat. But on the weekends, the college I used to go to had this like terrible dining schedule where it was just like closed almost all weekend. And on the first weekend, I didn't know that, and I'd missed the cutoff point for lunch, and the to-go place that I always ate at, there were 2 of them, and they were closed all of that day, all of that weekend day. So I had to wait till like 5 to have my first meal of the day. I think I probably ate like a can of soup in my room, and I was like, this is terrible. I'm all alone and I'm hungry. Alright, next story. Was an improv audition, which was just a great idea of mine. I had no good encouragement to do this, but I was like, I'm at a new place, I can audition for an improv group. Like, I love cracking jokes with my buddies, so I just auditioned for an improv group, which I have no idea how to do, and honestly, like, not that much desire to do. But I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I'm auditioning, and there's like 2 rooms that you go into. In the first room, I had done okay. It wasn't anything great by any means. And in the second room, they put you with a few members of the group. I was with this boy who was a dream. He was so cute. Oh my gosh. He was wearing like a crew neck sweatshirt. And that like blew my mind. It was burgundy. Oh my gosh, he had dark hair. And he just made me like completely unable to think. And while I was doing these improv exercises, I used the phrase blood of my enemies, which makes me cringe so much. It's so gross. I hate when people say that. I was like, this is what I'll say for this line about the red of sunset. Oh my gosh. I'm so mad at myself to this day for saying that it's like such an annoying thing to say. But in terms of stories from my last college, that kind of is the span of the awkward. Coming to Pitt has been more awkward, even though I I like it more. It has been admittedly a lot. There's more people, more room for awkward. The first piece of awkward, I was trying to get involved with this Christian group on campus, trying to make my parents proud, strengthen my faith, have a great time with some pals. I saw a sign for a group and I was like, great, I can just go to that. They had a dinner provided, I was so excited. And at this time, it was like the first week or so of college. It was really hot, like well into the 90s every day. Everyone was just like, it was very cute, face I just made. Everyone was hot. And I was also trying to take some stairs places because I'm like trying to conserve power and like be like a fit queen. So I had taken up the stairs up to the 3rd floor from the main floor. So that's like a full 3 flights up. It's not like the 1st floor to 2nd floor, 3rd, you know. And when I get to the room, I realized that I had sweat through my shirt completely. And I'm like, oh no, I'm embarrassed. But I was like, you know, these people get it. They understand that it's hot outside. They understand that people sweat. And they're like good Christian people, it's fine. Nothing, it's okay. And also during this meeting, I'm sick. So I'm coughing while we're like worshiping the Lord. I'm coughing the whole time. But it's fine. They get that I'm sick. And afterwards, I'm like talking to the people who work there, like having some nice convos, talking about normal things, like it's no problem. And I talked to the pastor. He's a very nice man, and he asks me, are you athletic? And I'm thinking he's asking because they're going on a rock climbing trip in the next week. And I say, no, I'm not really athletic, not as much as I'd like to be anyway, like, it's just not really my thing. He's like, oh, you look like you maybe came from like a practice or a workout or something. And I'm like, no. And I realize that he thinks that because I am so sweaty. He thinks I just came from like working out, like a run. And I was like, oh no, I'm just kind of sweaty, sorry. And he's like, no, it's okay. He like kind of walked away and got distracted, and like he was talking to somebody, and I like bolted from the room because I'm so mortified. I couldn't believe that he'd asked me that. I felt like, ugh. I felt terrible and gross. I was like, I can't believe that anyone would comment in that way about a young lass who just is sweaty. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, more stories. Oh yeah, I tried to go to a meeting for another improv group at the new college, and there's only 2 people there, and I was like, I really can't. I don't have the energy for this level of awkward. Also, I wanted to go to a hip-hop group. You know that I look like your typical hip-hop queen, but I've never done hip-hop before. I have no kind of professional, like actual dance classes. But they said no experience necessary. And I was like, dope, I have no experience. So I went to the building that they said, and outside there's 3 people, and they seem to be the leaders, the pre-established members of the group. And they're like, yeah, we're just gonna like wait out here till like more people come, because I was like a minute or so early. And we're out there for a few minutes, and no one else is showing up. And I'm like, oh no, I do not want this to be how this goes down. And we're out there for longer and longer, and no one is coming. And I'm like, oh god, please. So we go inside the building. She's like, we just better get started. And there's 2 more girls there that are wanting to go into this group. And I'm like, oh, thank god, I'm not all alone in this. And we get up to like the room that we're gonna be dancing in, and the leader girl is like, I need to just go through the steps in my head and like look at the video and see what we need to do. And we're like, okay, cool, sure, whatever you need. And she's like getting ready to go. She's kind of like standing and like doing some motions. And she's like starts to teach us the song, and it's clear that she's not prepared. She doesn't know the steps. She doesn't know how to teach us the steps. And she's getting more and more flustered, and I think she like at one point almost cried. And I'm like, oh no, I feel terrible. But I also feel terrible that I'm like spending time on this thing that like she didn't put in the time to prepare for, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. And she kept saying like, please come back next week, I promise it'll be so much better. And I'm like, I don't want to. And this girl was like, are you gonna come back next week? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna feel bad if I don't. And she's like, And I was like, this is the worst possible thing. So I tried out for a lot of, I didn't try out, I went to a lot of like club meetings and like interest meetings for college things this time around. And I went to a meeting for handbell ensemble. I never played the handbells before, but I wanted to give it a go. And this, spoiler alert, ended up being the least awkward of all the things that I went to, which is shocking that handbell ensemble was the least awkward. But the only real problem was, when you're playing the handbells, you keep them here, and you're like ringing, and they're resting right here. So the idea is that you shouldn't wear anything that would hurt the bells when they're here. I was wearing overalls with metal clips, so like they were gonna click against them, and I could like move them around, but it would be like very uncomfortable and kind of risky. So I had to like hook my overalls together and do like one strap off, and I was like, I messed up something else. How wonderful. But I think that's all my really embarrassing stories. I'm glad that they are no longer trapped in my mind and that they're maybe part of yours now. But I don't know if I'm going to upload this, but if I do, congratulations, it's my first one. Maybe it's my second. Excuse me, I burped. Have a great day!